What up? It's Jack, aka Just a Cunt here. This weekend is UFC Fight Night. Khalil Roundtree versus Jamahal in Azerbaijan, aka the home country of Rafael Fiziev, most notably, and others on this card. Anyway, here are my full picks and predictions. So far, we are 1-1 on main events, and looking to improve the record further. Anyway, let's get down to the early prelims, starting out with Hamdi versus Muhammad Usman. Now, Hamdi is very well-rounded, very solid. Good grappling, good boxing, good in there for a brawl. He is, I would say, a step above a more evolved version of the stereotypical blob heavyweight. Don't get me wrong, he's still medically obese, but nonetheless, he is still looks very good, very solid. His boxing is good, technically competent to say the least, and he did very good where he seemed like he's able to switch it up. He's not just a striker, he can grapple, he can kind of do a little bit of everything. Going against Muhammad Usman, who is known for putting on pressure, having some good pace, the old Usman special of holding people against the fence and stomping their feet. Very, kind of nicks at you, maybe lands one big shot, KOs you. I'm going to go with Hamdi. Even if Usman does hit hard and he's not like horrible, I think his boxing, his striking is going to be exposed here, and he's not going to be able to compete with Hamdi. Anyway, moving on to what I think is probably the best fight on the early prelims. It's going to be Tagir Ulanbekov versus Azat Maksum. I was looking at a little bit of film on Azat and some of his UFC fights, and he's very solid. He has, good boxing, good striking. He's really good trips as well. He's very good throws. He's almost does like Topuria, like when Topuria got the throw on Zalal, those types, that even the Usman type throws. Very powerful, very strong, someone who is very technically well-rounded. I just think against Tagir Ulanbekov, he's going to run into a wall where Tagir is very good striking, very slick, very good movement, very almost economic with his striking in terms of he doesn't throw too much. He's not going all, he's not like a Joaquin Buckley where he's going to throw big, powerful strikes until they land. He is very skilled, very technical, and I think he should have a problem defending the takedowns. I'm going to go with Tagir in what should be a quite fun fight, even if I do think it should be a comfortable win. Tagir Ulanbekov via decision. Obviously he did KO one of my GOATs, Joshua Van, but I don't know if he's going to get the same type of KO as that, just because maybe it's possible Tagir can get the finish, but I'm going to go Tagir via decision. Moving on to the card, we got Irina Alekseeva versus Claudia Saigula. Now, Irina submissions, Claudia fucking KOs. Nothing too great. I think she has like 6 KOs, so actually decent bit, and a couple submissions for Irina. Russian, Polish. We can't have a woman with estrogen in this. We can't get this stupid fucking pompadour fucking Russian bitch is gonna go in there and stink this shit up, hold her against the fence, hold her, do fuck all, get fucking maybe beat up on the feet a little bit, but it's gonna be a boring 29-28 arena. I'm gonna go fuck that. Melissa Moulins from England versus Daria from Russia. Melissa was the woman who got fucking twerked on and teabagged by Irina Perez like a COD lobby. Says enough. I'm going with Daria. She's pretty solid in the feet. She's kind of long. She has a big frame for the division, and I think she can just kind of out tit for tat her. I think it's going to be a while. She fights similar to that one Irish girl, I forget her name, that she got like rocked with a head kick and submitted in a triangle. It's possible that Melissa could try and take her down and grapple her, but I think on the feet it should be kind of scrappy, where I think Daria is going to edge it out. Moving on, this should also be a fun fight. Actually, I'm looking forward to this fight as well. Ismail Naradiev versus Jung Sung Park. I think Jung Sung is quite underrated. I think he's someone who I always hear people hype up, but I feel like every time I tune on to him, he's getting fucking KO'd. It's like Paul George. He's the fucking, he's the MVP until I clock into work that day. All of a sudden, that motherfucker's a bench player. I was looking at some film on Ismail. He looks very solid. He seems more grappling focused. He's got a little bit of chauvinism to it. The only thing that I'm nervous about is that he throws big strikes, which can Jung Sung Park. He isn't a great defensive striker. The odds have him as a 2-1 favorite, which kind of surprised me here. Maybe I'm misreading this fight. I'm gonna go with the underdog pick of Ismail Naradiev. I think he's gonna be able to slightly out-grapple, kind of make this more of a dogfight. Now, there's a chance that Jung Sung Park can win. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be surprised, but when looking at tape, I'm seeing Ismail just be able to mix up the game a little bit better than Jung Sung Park. Moving up the card, Ko versus Oban Elliott. Sorry about that. Oban Elliott, don't disrespect the fighters. I mean, this guy, coming off a great KO, coming off a great streak, has some of the best Twitter spaces in the game. I mean, really does a little bit of everything going against Ko, who is a Sambo fighter with great sweep, trips, and just kind of wild brawling striking. I'm going to go with Oban Elliott. I think he is a good grappler. I think enough to, he may get taken down here and there, may get tripped, give me a sweep. I don't see him being held down for an extended period of time by any means. And I think that Ko is good enough to keep this competitive, good enough to stay in there. I just don't know if he's going to be enough to win on the feet, where I think most of the fights are going to take place, just because I do think Oban has solid enough grappling to mitigate it, or at least keep 70% of the fight on the feet, where I think he'll be able to hang on the outside, kind of counter big shots, land his jab, do good, very solid, well-rounded, almost mid-MA, almost mid-martial arts, but overall, I think it's going to be a solid decision for Oban Elliott. Moving up to the main card, Muhammad Naimov versus Bogdangrad. Muhammad Naimov is like a big favorite here. He's a big favorite, and I don't blame him. I mean, looking at him, I think some guys, as he goes up to the division, will be able to move around and use footwork more, just because I feel like Muhammad Naimov, very powerful, very strong, with very good kicks. He kind of stands like Andre Petrosky, where he puts a lot of he's more boxing focused, doesn't bounce around as much. I think that can come in later into the fight, but the fucking Fedor little ass kid, ugly little cunt, stupid fucking dwarf. Looks like the fucking one smiley ass dwarf from Snow White. I don't know why his face just pissing me off. I don't know why the fuck he's looking at me like that. I'm on the UFC website. He's looking at me all funny and shit. Give me Muhammad by fuck it. Muhammad by fucking second round KO. Suck my nuts. Anyway, moving up to couple of the Azerbaijan guys. We got Nazim Sadikov, who switch kicked Ismail Bonfim in a solid performance. He was pretty back and forth and competitive, kind of a weird stoppage, but with a very slick switch kick versus Nicholas Moda, who got fucking elbowed into oblivion. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Nazim. There's not too much to say. Too big, too strong. Should be able to. He used the Philly shell a lot. They can kind of leave him open in terms of Moda swinging big overhooks. Besides that, it should be a comfortable win for him. Nazim being able to use his footwork, be able to bounce around, move, land solid strike, very good powerful strikes as well. We'll commit to powerful strikes, and I think Moda is not going to have the footwork or the defensive ability to defend against that. I think it's going to be a comfortable win. I'm going to say a second round TKO with a body kick from Nazim Sadikov. Moving up the card, we got Oralbai versus Tofik, and I'm not too sure. I'm not too knowledgeable on this guy. I did some basic footage looking now. Look at some fights, and overall came back. I mean, he's a Bellator guy. Yeah, he's a Bellator guy. I can't take anything there seriously. Doesn't matter what I'm going to see there. Look at Patchy Mix. Look at Patricio Pitbull. It's just a different level of this guy. Michael Chandler was able to fluke Dan Hooker, but besides that, we're not really seeing a great demonstration from the Bellator guys. I think Oralbai is fucking huge for this division. I think he's ridiculously tough. I think his grappling is great. I think Tofik looked very ballsy on the feet. I think this will be a fun fight, but I'm gonna go with Oralbai via close decision. I'm going to say 29-28 or lie. Moving up to the 3 main fights. 3 big names, hometown heroes, Curtis Blades, Ignacio Bahamondes. I do love you, Rafael Fiziev, but we'll get to that fight later. Jamahal Hill with this shit-eating grin. He looks like fucking, what's Captain America's name? What's Sam Wilson's name? He's got that same fucking shit-eating fucking grin. Like, I'm gonna get to you later. And then Khalil Roundtree. Curtis Blades versus Rizan Kuniev. I'm going with Curtis Blades. Rizban, solid, well-rounded, fat fuck heavyweight. Gonna get jabbed his fucking nose off. He's gonna try and grapple, not gonna work. Curtis Blades, he's gonna exhaust him. 3rd round, ground and pound TKO. Suck my nuts. Curtis Blades getting back in the win column. Would like to see him against, it's hard to say who's next right now because it's kind of obviously a fucking logjam. Even the interim champion can't get a fucking title shot. But in my opinion, I wouldn't be surprised if, honestly, I wouldn't mind Curtis Blades versus Rogan, but it seems like they were going to give Rogan a title shot after a rivalry win over Volkov. In that case, I don't know if you want to do Volkov versus Curtis Blades again, just because it feels like you want to give something to Volkov, but it's hard to give him an opportunity without him facing the tough guy, because him, Jilton Almeida, you know, it's kind of the only guys that, you know, kind of has to face these grappling guys that, you know, it's not going to be as fun. But I wouldn't mind Curtis Blades versus Volkov, assuming he does get past this. But yeah, I'm going to go with Curtis Blades by 3rd round TKO to ground and pound, or I'm going to do decision. I'm going to go Curtis Blades by finish. Fuck, he's going to catch him. Rafael Fiziev versus Ignacio Bahamondes. This is the best fight in the card, I think. I think this should be a really good fight. And I'm kind of torn on this fight because I do quite like both of these guys. Rafael Fiziev, you know what? I'm not scared to admit I was a Fiziev fan. I was a Fiziev fanatic. I swear to God, this man was going to beat Islam easy. So I was going to school Islam on the feet for 3 rounds, then gas out and lose 2 in a close fight. I study of lockdown teeth. I'm telling you, I watched one. Listen, guys. I listened to one Henry Cejudo breakdown on Fiziev and his fucking lockdown takedown defense, and I was sold, bro. My ticket was punched. I had my train ticket all the way on the Fiziev train, brother. And now I want this motherfucker to move down to featherweight, because Ignacio Bahamondes, he kind of is growing into him. I remember when he first got that spinning heel kick KO. I forget, against the guy's Ultimate Fighter guy who like won on the Ultimate Fighter for some fucking reason. It was just there. Went from there being a crazy prospect. I was talking about really good from him. He had, I think it was just 1 or 2 losses where he kind of just got held against the fence. Nothing demoralizing, but enough to be like, okay, let's give this kid some time. And then it seemed like his jiu-jitsu has improved a lot. I don't know as much about his wrestling, but that shouldn't be too much of a factor here unless Rafael decides to sit it on his fucking face like he did against Justin Gaethje. I think that this should be a styles and striking fight. I think Fiziev is going to want to be a striking fight. Or I think this is actually going to be quite interesting because Ignacio, I think the big difference maker here is that I think Fiziev is going to be able to land solid kicks. I don't know if it's going to do that much damage. Fiziev has never been someone to really hurt people. Obviously, he has KO'd guys like Renato Moicano and Rafael Dos Anjos, but against solid chins, he's not really able to. He couldn't really rock Justin Gaethje too much. It feels like Fiziev hasn't fought any of the main guys. But when I think about it, he's fought Gaethje, he fought Gamrot. It looked like he was going to beat Gamrot, to be fair, but I think it was a very good stylistic matchup for Rafael, and even then it ended in the 2nd round. Where I feel like the big difference here is going to be Ignacio Bahamondes' boxing. I think his strict boxing, I think he's going to be to land the more damaging shots. I think he's going to be able to fight off the back foot, force Rafael Fiziev on the front foot, where Ignacio is going to be able to deal with the kicks, try to stay at the end of Fiziev punches. He's got tiny arms, too small. Ignacio's fucking huge, 6'3". I think it would be hard for Fiziev to get to him. I think Ignacio is going to be able to stay on the back foot, land solid strikes, maybe counter Fiziev. I don't know if he's going to hurt him. I'm not too sure about that, just because it seems like Fiziev more so gets hurt in the pocket against guys like Gaethje, guys that are going to... I don't know if Fiziev's going to get caught on the edge of something at distance as much. But I'm going to go with Ignacio Bahamondes by close decision, 20-28. I think it's going to be a fun fight where we're going to have to look at physio and have some questions where he's going to have some uncomfortable conversations about where he's at in this division. If he's going to move down, you know, what's he going to do? But notice I think Ignacio Bahamondes via decision. Moving on to the main event, Jamahal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree Jr. Now this is a banger. This fight has been made like 10 fucking times. I hope this fight fucking goes through. If we have physio versus Ignacio for 5 rounds, alright, no problem. But like, fuck, bro. This fight I feel like has been in the works for the last like year. I feel like Jamahal Hill got KO'd, and 2 weeks later he was scheduled to fight Khalil Roundtree. Then Khalil Roundtree got KO'd, and 2 weeks later he was scheduled to fight Jamahal Hill, etc., etc. I think this is a very hard fight to predict, because Jamahal Hill fooled me. When I saw him coming up, this motherfucker looked ass. I had no hope for him. And then he knocked out Thiago Santos. Knocks out Johnny Walker. And I was like, fuck. And those are like the Brazilians that are getting KO'd nowadays. You know, they're past their prime. They're not whatever. This, that. And then all of a sudden he fights Glover this year. I'm like, this kid's getting submitted in a round. Giving Glover the belt back. We're going to do this old man, blah, blah, blah. But he beats the dog shit out of Glover. Like, beat the fuck out of him. Like, I don't know if anyone's ever beaten up Glover worse in terms of a 5-round just ass whooping. Just start to finish, bro. Underrated performance. Thing is, though, this motherfucker, at first, there's certain fighters, like, even like Justin Gaethje, who I look at him like, are they bad or is their form just really ass? So they have very awkward form. And now I'm starting to feel like Jamahal Hill, who looked good against Yuri in terms of he was technically beating Yuri in the second round, and there was definitely a bunch of moments where he was able to perform well against Yuri. The only problem was that Yuri had some monstrous head movement, really good, solid counters. Kind of looked like he took from Pereira a little bit in terms of weaving, right hand, left hook. Something that I don't know if Khalil's going to do that. Because on one hand, Khalil, in my opinion, did lose today to Dustin Jacoby, which isn't a horrible loss now that he's getting some KOs. But he did seem like Khalil, if you don't play his game, if you don't try to brawl with him, if you're willing to touch and move, Khalil can struggle with that. It's just that I don't think Jamal's going to do that. I think Jamal is going to brawl with Khalil. I think Jamal is going to, I feel like Jamal has a permanent chip on his shoulder and he wants to hurt guys. That's kind of the vibe. He doesn't strike me as like this was Israel Adesanya versus Khalil. I'd probably pick out Adesanya just because I feel like he's going to be willing to just touch and move against Khalil. Or I feel like Jamal is going to try and sit on punches, try to hit him hard, and try and hurt Khalil, which I think he can do. That's a big thing in this fight. I think he can hurt Khalil. I think Khalil isn't chinny, but he's not like a crazy durable fighter. He's smaller, his head's smaller. He doesn't have crazy defense. Especially with like, it seems like he relies on either his back and forth movement or his hands just blocking it in the way. But it feels like straight shots down the middle can affect him, and he's very easy to discombobulate in terms of hooks. He's just going to try and move his gloves in a way and do it. He's not going to use too much head movement. He's kind of plotty in that way, where he's very dynamic with his offense. He's not as dynamic with his defense. So I'm going to go with Khalil Roundtree. I think Jamahal Hill can pour out a dog performance. I think he can. I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of those fights where the fight happens and Jamal is just able to technically jab, move 1-2, make Khalil look kind of silly out there, and I'm going to be looking at that like, fuck, bro, I should have picked Jamal. But I think Jamal, coming off 2 KO losses not too long ago, I think he's going to try and get in Khalil's face. I think he's trying to hurt Khalil. I think it's going to be a dog fight. I think it's going to be a really good fight where I think Khalil is going to be able to counter Jamal. Who the fuck is Khalil? Give me Khalil Roundtree via Aura. I'm gonna say Khalil Roundtree wins. It's just a 3-rounder. Fuck it. I'm committing to Khalil Roundtree, but fuck, I wouldn't be surprised if Jamahal Hill wins. I really wouldn't be surprised if Jamahal Hill wins. I think Khalil Roundtree is going to be able to land big shots on Jamahal Hill. I think Hill's going to have really good movements from the outside, where Khalil Roundtree is going to not be able to land as much, but I think Khalil's going to learn from his fights. I think he's going to have more room to grow. I think he's the type of fighter that can adapt to striking more, and I think that he's going to be able to land big hooks, going to land on Jamahal in the pocket, going to be able to counter Hill where he kind of leaves himself open at times, especially when he overextends on big strikes in a brawl. I'm going to say Khalil Roundtree wins via, I can see a decision, but the more decision, I'm feeling more Jamahal Hill. I'm going to say Khalil Roundtree via 3rd round TKO. That's what I'm going to go with. Khalil Roundtree, 3rd round TKO. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope y'all enjoyed the predictions. What did I get right? What did you get wrong? What are you guys thinking? Let me know in the comment section below. Anyway, my name's Jack, aka Jessica. Hope you have a good night. See ya.